The Banu al-Khazraj was one of the tribes of Arabia during Muhammad's era. The Banu al-Khazraj are renowned for their generosity and hospitality. Aws and Khazraj were known as Banu Kayla in pre-Islamic era. History. Early history. Abu Muhammad al-Hasan ibn Ahmad al-Hamdani mentioned that the Banu Khazraj along with Banu Aws settled the area of Yathrib around the 2nd century AD as part of the pre-Islamic exodus of Yemen due to the Great Dam damage. However, all sources agree that the Banu Khazraj and Banu Aws became hostile to each other. Jewish chronicles state that they went to war against each other in the Battle of Bu'ath a few years before the Islamic prophet Muhammad migrated to Medina. There were 3 Jewish tribes present in Medina: Banu Kanoka, Banu Nadir and Banu Qurayza. During the battle, the Banu Nadir and the Banu Qurayza fought on the side of the Banu Aws, while the Banu Kanoka were allied with the Banu Khazraj. The latter were defeated after a long and desperate battle. The Nusaybar clan family of Jerusalem, custodians of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, are descendants of Banu Khazraj. They arrived in Jerusalem with the 7th century Islamic conquest. Hijra 622. Muhammad came to Medina as a mediator, invited to resolve the feud between the factions of Banu Aws and Banu Khazraj. He ultimately did so by absorbing both factions into his Muslim community, forbidding bloodshed among Muslims. Abdallah ibn Ubay, their chief, is said to have plotted against Muhammad. After this, Banu Khazraj and others became known as the Ansar. Military campaigns. On 624, Muhammad ordered the assassination of Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf. According to Ibn Ishaq, Muhammad ordered his followers to kill Ka'b because he had gone to Mecca after Badr and invade against Muhammad. He also composed verses in which he bewailed the victims of Quraysh who had been killed at Badr. Shortly afterwards he returned to Medina and composed amatory verses of an insulting nature about the Muslim women. This killing was carried out by the Banu Aws when men of the Banu Aws tribe murdered Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf. Some Khazraj tribesmen including Abdullah ibn Unais went to Muhammad and received a permission to put to death the person responsible for the killing of Salim ibn Abu al-Haqaq, who was killed during the expedition of Abdullah ibn Atik. Salim ibn Abu al-Haqaq was a Jew, who helped the troops of the Confederates and provided them with a lot of wealth and supplies, on the one hand, and used to mock Muhammad with his poetry, on the other. When the Muslims had settled their affair with Banu Qurayza, al-Khazraj tribe, a rival of al-Aws, asked for Muhammad's permission to kill him in order to merit a virtue equal to that of al-Aws who had killed Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf. The Nasrids in Granada. In 1228, Ibn al-Ammar gathered the remains of the Muslim population cornered in Granada and established al-Mamlaka al-Nasriya, derived from the Ansar of Mecca, whom he claimed direct lineage to. The Nasrids. With the Reconquista in full swing after the conquest of Córdoba in 1236, the Nasrids aligned themselves with Ferdinand III of Castile, officially becoming a tributary state in 1238. The state officially becoming the Kingdom of Granada in 1238. The Nasrids had to turn their backs against the Muslims of Córdoba and Seville in order to survive the reconquest. Initially, the Kingdom of Granada linked the commercial routes from Europe with those of the Maghreb. The territory constantly shrank, however, and by 1492, Granada controlled only a small territory on the Mediterranean coast. Arabic was the official language, and was the mother tongue of the majority of the population. Granada was held as a vassal to Castile for many decades, and provided trade links with the Muslim world, particularly the gold trade with the sub-Saharan areas south of Africa. The Nasrids also provided troops for Castile, while the kingdom was also a source of mercenary fighters from North African Zenata tribes. However, Portugal discovered the African trade routes by sailing around the coast of West Africa. Thus Granada became less and less important for Castile, and with the unification of Castile and Aragon in 1479, those kingdoms set their sights on conquering Granada and Navarre. On January 2, 1492, the last Muslim leader, Muhammad XII, known as Boabdil to the Spanish, surrendered complete control of Granada to Ferdinand and Isabella, Los Reyes Católicos, after the city was besieged. See Nasrid dynasty for a full list of the Nasrid rulers of Granada. The most prominent members of the dynasty were Muhammad ibn al-Hammar, the founder of the dynasty; Yusuf I. Muhammad V, builder of the royal palace within the Alhambra; Boabdil of Granada, the last of the line, who surrendered in 1492 to Ferdinand and Isabel and was given the Alpujarras Mountains to rule to the east of Granada, although he left for Tlemcen in Morocco. People: Abdallah ibn Ubay, chief; Sa'd ibn Ubadah, the chief of the Khazraj; Hassan ibn Thabit, Ubay ibn Kab, Abdallah ibn Rawaha, Asad bin Zurara bin Ads, Habib ibn Mundir, Anas ibn Malik, Al-Bara ibn Malik, Sa'd bin Arabi bin Amra, Rafi bin Malik bin Al-Ajlin, Al-Bara bin Maru bin Sak, Abdullah bin Amra bin Harim, Ubadah bin As-Samit bin Qais, Al-Mundir bin Amr bin Kunais,